we are at the moment in a cycle of life where everybody, if you're just a little bit aware, you can feel something is shifting. Some people are not willing to maybe adapt to the change. Some people are not strong enough to adapt to the change. Some people don't know how to put it into practice in order to go with the change. It is my perspective. There will come the time, and it's not going to take long, where a natural separation is going to take place, a natural separation. The ones that are able to read the signs, that are able to go with what is happening, to adapt to the changes this world is bringing to us, they will move on to another world. They will move on to another area, to another cycle of us humans being right now here on the earth. And other people that are unwilling, unable, maybe incapable of adapting to the coming changes. It is simple like this. They will stay with the old world, which is about to end. That's the message. That's all what this is about. An old era is about to come to an end. A new era is about to come. This is worldwide happening. It's happening inside our monastery. It's happening inside of me.
From the east, house of light, may wisdom dawn in us, so we may see all things in clarity. From the north, house of night, may wisdom ripen in us, so we may see all from within. From the west, house of transformation, may wisdom be transformed into right action, so we may do what must be done. From the south, house of the eternal sun, may right action reap the harvest, so we may enjoy the fruits of planetary being. From above, house of heaven, where star people and ancestors gather, may their blessings come to us now. From below, house of earth, may the heartbeat of her crystal core bless us with harmonies to end all war. From the center, galactic source, which is everywhere at once, may everything be known as the light of mutual love. Ayum hunabku evam maya e maho. Ayum hunabku evam maya e maho. Ayum hunabku evam maya e ma ho.
Just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, spies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple grounds. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies, spies.
All right, in Lakesh Alakim. Welcome to Sync Talk, Synchronistic Talk. My name is Neb Teharka Kanish Kawak, and I'm here to facilitate a very powerful message about catalytic enlightenment this evening for those of you that are watching this on the East Coast. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm also the founder and chancellor of the Synchronistic Human School of Enlightenment, a place where people can use evolutionary tools to advance their consciousness and reign supreme over their earthly realities. Very excited about that. This has an opportunity. Who are we? We are a progressive group of cosmic beings that are highly intelligent, intuitive, and telepathic and laser beam focused on evolving throughout the journey of remembrance to fulfill our galactic purpose on this planet. So it's really very powerful that when I realized my galactic purpose, my earthly destiny became very different. You'll hear me talk about in some of my lectures or things of that nature that there are two main reasons that we want to focus on. They're not the only reasons, but they are some of the main reasons that we want to focus on in order to advance ourselves and access all the intelligence that we can in our mind, right? And that is to clear up your galactic karma and to fulfill your galactic purpose. Now, how do you do that on an artificial fallacious calendar? How do you do that with concepts that don't allow you to use the fullness of your creativity? So this is why we're focused on remembering, putting back together the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere of the brain. Scientists say we only use 10% of our brain power consciously, and the other 90% is subconscious. Well, what happens is when we start using 20% instead of 10% and 30%, we become more evolved beings and our reality changes. And so that's something that I've experienced firsthand. So when we're talking about who we are and who you're listening to in this moment, it's not just about who we are, but those of you that's listening, who can you become with this type of knowledge? Who can you become accessing your memory? Scientists say we have over 100 million years of memory stored in our cerebellum. And I dare to say we're not even using probably 100 of the 100 million years. Why? Because we're accessing the memory of artificial programs, smartphones, databases, Google, YouTube. But what if we were accessing our memory like we access an artificial memory? What would happen to our finances? What would happen to our relationships? What would happen to our health and our ability in terms of the speed and the velocity to change from one type of circumstance into another? What would happen? I'm telling you what would happen. It would be catalytic enlightenment. It'd be very fast, and it'd be a shift, and your reality would change. But change from the form of cosmic intelligence, not just change, and you don't know what changed or what happened. And so you can't sustain the change because you hadn't built the depth of the character and the capabilities to maintain the such intelligence in this reality. Okay, so we're laser beam focused on evolving. You'll hear me talk about evolution is the solution. This is an online school based in Atlanta, all right, Atlanta, Georgia, founded in July of 2023. And let me tell you, we accepting students worldwide because you can work on this remotely, of course. And there's currently 12 courses being offered. There's prerequisites for each course. A lot of it is dealing with the law of time and its relationship to nature and our mind. And the other is whole mind concepts that help us improve our self-image and evolve through this memory and consciousness that I talk about. Ashe? So the power of evolved consciousness, if you correct your mind is incorrect if you're only using 10% of it. And if you're comfortable and you're wealthy and all the things are happening, watch out, because what goes up must come down unless you keep raising your frequency into higher states of consciousness and memory so that you have an upward trajectory. If you correct your mind, the rest of your life will fall into place. You don't have to put it in place. You don't have to grind. It automatically falls in place because the level of consciousness that we're operating on enables us to experience the reality that's synonymous with that. So we made this move already, whether you know or not, from the information age. And some of us are still informed by the computers only, and that's programming our emotions, which is creating certain feelings and disposition that's controlling what? Our behavior, into the telepathic age of our existence, where we follow the power of synchronicity, and it helps us remember the totality of God in the body that now is able to carry out this purpose on the earth. And so there's some dynamic things that we can do with this degree of focus. And that's what I'm here to share with you a little bit, a glimpse of it on Sync Talk. Whoever owns your time, time in this sense is not a mechanical clock. Time is not a calendar. Time in this sense, from the perspective that I'm talking about, is the evolution of consciousness. So whoever owns your evolution of consciousness, we all know now as time, owns your mind. Change your time and change your mind, and you'll change your world. How many of you that are listening want to change your world? Are you satisfied with just 1/1,000,000th of your potential? Are you satisfied on operating on 1/10, and you don't want to see what the other 9/10ths can do for you? You are shrinking into greatness, and you are shrinking into abundance, and it doesn't work that way. So what is the solution? The solution is to evolve or die being unevolved. Die a morbid death and have to come back. And I like how High Priestess Ma'at talks about come back with the juice box in the car seat, trying to figure it all out again. The solution is to evolve. But in order for you to evolve, you got to first start with the 4 letters of this word evolve backwards. You first must love yourself. Love the fact that you have unlimited power through the self in you, to show you, to teach you, to inform you, to share with you through intuition how to focus your will. And it will feel like, and it will seem like it's too far-fetched. Why would I do it this way? Well, what you don't understand is that the state of consciousness that got you into the situation that you're in now, that you're praying about, well, the prayer is coming back to you in the form of intuition at a higher level of consciousness than the consciousness that got you into the situation you're in. So what'll happen is we'll just do what we remember to be most comfortable. And when we do what we remember to be most comfortable, we're going to miss the boat, because intuition is saying, no, this is divinity speaking to you, and I'm going to show you how to overcome this. And this is not limited to this, but everything that you encounter, that you come into a snag or a difficulty with, you can come to the unlimited power of the self. Ask and you shall given through intuition, the message, the instructions. And if you follow those instructions, and it may take some discipline to do some and some practice, you're going to be able to overcome the circumstances one by one by one. And no more will you be afraid of your circumstances or be a victim of circumstances. You'll be a victor with your circumstances. And that's what this whole idea about evolving is. All right, so we're in our Quantum Leap series. This session is entitled Catalytic Enlightenment. Okay, so when we talk about enlightenment, this is where we reach states of pure consciousness. And let me tell you, where attention goes, energy flows. So all that simply means, when you think about it, is that frequency equals currency. So what frequency is your consciousness on? That registers in the heart and then draws to you the true frequency circumstances that says, hey, this is the frequency you operating at. Is this what you want? And so if you look at your life, is that your circumstances that show up is seeking your validation, and you are the gatekeeper for each and every circumstance that comes in to your experience in life. And if it's not the experience, say, wait a minute. Now the frequency I was on must not have been high enough. So now I need to go ahead and change the frequency so I can change what comes into my circumstance or my currency. So catalytic enlightenment is a way to increase your frequency. And by increasing your frequency, you're going to be able to increase the value of the currency that's coming into your circumstances in your life. In fact, your currency is synonymous with your circumstances. So how valuable are your circumstances are going to be determined by how valuable you feel your self-image is that's attracting those circumstances. Frequency equals currency. And so with that, we follow Olmec and Mayan cosmology to find out a lot about the original Mexicans, or the melanated group of people with the big stone heads that created so much, the pyramids and everything. And these pyramids are being found not all over just South America, but all over America. They were here before Columbus. And so it's evidence that what were they doing? What kind of systems did they have? And why are they not here now? And so what we found is that these individuals had very sophisticated approaches to calendrical systems, which opened up their mind to be able to access more memory, more extrasensory abilities, more telepathic abilities, and it just wasn't the right timing of it back then. But let me tell you, with the rise in technology and the depletion of memory and consciousness of the human species, now couldn't be a better time for restoration of our consciousness and our power to be awakened and to be able to align and evolve with Mother Earth. So we follow three things. The 13 moon calendar disrupts systemic programming, because guess what? The moon has 13 cycles a year, not 12. The law of time, the Tzolk'in 260 faces of the creator calendar, it helps us evolve spiritually by accessing our cosmic memory. All right. The hollow mind perceiver helps us access extrasensory ability and telepathic experiences. And you may not be able to do this all in one day, and it's okay. But if you just started with the idea or the decision, I'm going to learn about this. What kind of programming do I have that's keeping me sick? What kind of programming do I have that's keeping me broke? What kind of programming do I have that really is causing me to have relationships that don't ever work out? Well, there's only one way to find out. See how what this process disrupts the programming and ushers in the relationship of nature and man and woman to evolve on the planet. And watch what happens. We got to tap into what? Our cosmic anatomy through natural time cycles. And natural time cycle, it is necessary for nature to evolve. And you'll be able to evolve through your mind. But after you disrupt the programming, you got to learn how to evolve spiritually. And the way you do that is you access the memory. Your brain and your mind are different. And the memory allows you to access greater states of consciousness than you're in. And how do I know this? An enlightened being doesn't experience the same reality that somebody at fear or shame or pride experiences. They experience a blissful state. They're not available for disasters. I was asked, hey, are you prepared for the storm? And they didn't know my archetype is the storm. I'm very comfortable in the storm. You just have to stay in the eye of the storm. But I said my consciousness to myself, my consciousness is not available for disasters because of storms, because I have a galactic purpose on Earth. It's a different thought pattern. Why not? Right? So evolving spiritually and really when we access our whole mind and able to access extrasensory perception and telepathic experience, it makes everything quicker. What you think about happens with CD consciousness. As soon as you think it is happening. So you have to be able to take responsibility and accountability for what it is that you create. You can't blame it no more. And we call this self-governance. Self-governance. So who better to govern your mental than you once you access these natural programs, your human technology that's already embedded in your corpus callosum, and it secretes down in Christ oil through your cerebral spinal fluid. And all of it is plasma that communicates with what we call the plasma universe. The consciousness travels through plasma and it communicates with us as cosmic tuning force or cosmic antennas on the planet. And imagine what kind of data. This is how you go straight to the source, right? You don't have to go through somebody to get to the source, or go through nobody that was somebody to get through the source. You are directly made in the image to access the source because you are the source energy through plasma. So we tap it into our power. So one of the first tools, the 13 moon calendar, 28 days. So 13 times 28 is 364 and 1 day at a time for 365. So we're in the blue rhythmic storm year now here in the Southeast. Right now we're experiencing a storm, right? A hurricane. We're in the electric deer moon where knowledge initiates view. And this moon asks, how can I best serve? Okay, now what I like about this, Limi is an energy field, right? So we focus on the calendar from an energetic basis, not from a fallacious number or artificial time basis. And so we call days plasma. Me and my son Sage, we were talking about, he was like, are we going to do something this weekend? I said, man, I don't want the weekend. I'd rather have the strong end. Well, you know what I mean, the day. Well, I don't want to be in the days either. Well, you're not in the days. I'm talking about the day, Papa. And so it was just funny, just going back and forth. And then finally he got it. Who wants to be in the days and who wants to be weak? So we talk about plasma. It makes me think of lava, hot, ready to molten, ready to clear a path. So the plasma is Limi, which is the 6th day of the heptad, 6th plasma of the heptad out of 28, and it's connected to the solar system plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra, which is dealing with divine will and the power of focus. Now, let me ask y'all a question who's listening. Could you focus better if you knew the whole solar system was focusing with you on each and every intention that you're making? Could you do it if you knew it? Could you do it if you knew it? We don't know that solar. We just look at the solar plexus. So it's a physical thing in our right below our stomach. But what if you knew that that thing was connected to the plasma that was connected to the whole solar system, and the essence of you is connected in the whole solar system? Every time that you focus is being reverberated with frequencies into the solar system. And it's being reverberated back to you energetically to focus until the manifestation is complete. Why do you think you have a body? The body can manifest. The spirit by itself can't manifest on the gravitational plane of the earth. So what would be the support? There's more counting on you to fulfill your purpose on the planet than just your ideal of what purpose is from a limited perception of mind. So now let's get this solar plexus. And this is every plasma, which is synonymous with day. There's a new focus, and there's a whole planet. There's a whole solar system. There's a whole sun. There's a whole cosmos. There's a whole this helping you. It's nature to work on your behold. This is why things happen on your behold and not happen on your behalf. And when you shift into a certain frequency, it just happens. You're like, why didn't it happen when I was working so hard? Why didn't it happen when I was trying so hard? Because you don't have to try when it's natural, but you've forgotten that it's natural. Okay? So here's what a synchronized version of the calendars are: the 260-day calendar and the 13 moon calendar. And it even has Gregorian dates on there. You see, it says 9/25. So now what I like about this, watch this, because some of y'all are new. Some of y'all say, I don't know what all these symbols are. Great. I love it, because there was a point in time where I didn't know. But let me tell you what I found out. When I start synchronizing this 80 in this picture here with this number 6, which is the plasma of Limi and the solar plexus canal, to access, to infuse you with energy to help you manifest. I said, wow, when those two are synchronized, right, and override the program of the regular calendar, the artificial calendar, you now become God over your circumstances. So now it led me to believe, okay, I told you what number 6 is. right? The solar plexus chakra is what it's connected to. So what is this yellow picture with the 80? Let's find out about that. Well, this is the sun archetype, and there's 20 dynamic frequencies, 5, 10, 15, 20 dynamic frequencies of light. This is the fifth dimensional aspect of you that radiates and synthesizes frequencies beyond the body and beyond the planet. So all this stuff beyond the body and beyond the planet, we think is separate from ourselves, but it's part of our mind. It's part of consciousness, and it's communicating with us so that we can remember why we came into a physical body. Let's look at what it says. I am the enlightened one, coded by the yellow sun, 20th archetype. My number is 20, the universe totality. 20 is the number of totality. In meditation was I conceived, in and from meditation was I born, and for long eons have I dwelt deep within this meditation. I am the higher truth and the renewer of life. I turn the cosmic wheel of time, giving pure mind teachings. We call that enlightenment. Pure in mind teachings amongst the stars. I am the harmonic keeper of the blazing fields of infinite light. Many names am I called, but they only name my fiery cloak, my outer form, my fiery cloak that you call the sun. The enlightenment of one is the enlightenment of all. That's how we're all connected through consciousness, through energy. We're all one. I am the fulfillment of the prophecy of Hu-Nab-Ku. Awakening all beings simultaneously is my task. In many places have I awakened, and every place I go, I know only by the name Tolan. That's the new world, Tolan of the awakened ones. To know me is to know the light of the truth that illumines all beings. That's right. The enlightenment of one is the enlightenment of all. That's why you can no longer dim your light. You can't dim your light, right? The affirmation for this kin number reads as follows. I polarize in order to enlighten, stabilizing light. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of free will. Now we say this 3 times to affirm it in the body and radiate, synthesize it, like I said, like light, and radiate it out into the ethers to return a physical and spiritual equivalency of the frequency that we sent out. So let's do it 2 more times. I polarize in order to enlighten, stabilizing life. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of free will. 1 more time to lock it in. I polarize in order to enlighten, stabilizing life. I seal the matrix of universal fire with the lunar tone of challenge. I am guided by the power of free will. Ashe, Ashe, and Asheo. Let's talk about this archetype, or this holarchic template of one of the 20 dynamic frequencies of light that's making an impression of the 5th dimensional aspect of our being, the light body. And so how is the light body housed? It's housed through our chakras, our 7 chakras. And did you know, since we're talking about catalytic enlightenment, that there's 7 chakras in the brain called radioplasmas? And when they connect, right, when you allow them to connect, many of us are unaware of this. That's why you got to know your cosmic anatomy. When they connect, right, with the associated chakra, the chakra in your brain connects with the chakra in your body, on your spine, in your nervous system. It opens up a cosmic paradigm, a thinking layer of how the cosmos unfolds. And this thinking layer now can be used to help you communicate with beings beyond the planet. It can help you use to gain higher mind control. It could be used to tap into untapped psychic energy. It can be used to reprogram your subconscious mind that just plays back patterns back to you, and we judge it and it registers in our heart. It's designed to stabilize ordinary consciousness and actualize and tap into cosmic awareness. That's what it's designed to do, these paradigms. And when you do, you're more dynamic in the body to handle your affairs on the earth versus to be enslaved or controlled on the planet, or emasculated in a relationship, or victimized with domestic violence in a relationship, or targeted by the police. It's a different state of consciousness that's not available for those types of things. It offers self-acceptance, which means I am the source. I am the creator of my own experience. And it offers you what we call self-governance, where you don't have to have someone or some entity govern your mental, that you can govern your own mental. The power of the I am. So the sun, the enlightened one, some of the attributes, wholeness. So wholeness comes in complete paradigms. How many of you don't complete things? You're not operating in wholeness. And so therefore, things don't work on your behold. Things work partially, late. See how everything, how you align with yourself is how everything in your life experience aligns with you. To take that degree of responsibility means you've moved into self-acceptance in such a dynamic way that you can control your own fate. Unconditional love, the language of light. I was just talking about that. Solar mastery, mastery of the solar system, and limitless bliss. Right? Those are some of the attributes. Let's look at this. The most fundamental exercise is self-observation. Who is the self? The self is the unlimited power in the body we call God in the body, which is the catalyst. Now we're talking about catalyst or catalytic enlightenment, which is the catalyst for interchange. So there's an involution before there's an evolution, but we don't want to change on the inside. We want to change everything on the outside so we don't have to change nothing on the inside. And that's why there's only temporary change at best. Without an involution, there is no evolution. It will give self-knowledge, this catalyst of interchange, self-knowledge, knowledge of the unlimited power of self, and a clear mind and perception. Clarity is power. Without it, the attempt to reach enlightenment and awaken consciousness is destined to fail. Without it, without clarity of mind and perception, without the catalyst of interchange, the attempt to reach states of enlightenment and awaken the consciousness to realize it's God in the body is destined to fail. And so your self-image will move from an expanded version into a very compact, limited version of the self. And this is how gods get trapped in artificial matrices, artificial constructs that tell you who you are, that tell you your personality, that tell you this is what's going to happen to you. Well, that's for a limited mind of consciousness. That ain't for whole mind consciousness. The whole mind consciousness says, I am that I am, and this is how it shall be as I am. Because what's added to I am, we heard from the late, before his time, Reverend Ike, is added unto you. Let's talk about enlightenment. It's to understand the natural world and humankind's place in it solely on the basis of reason, emotional, and spiritual intelligence. Here's the problem. The only thing that we really tap into is reason, logic, and reasoning in the left side of the brain, and only a small portion of that brain is being used for that purpose. To tap into the emotional, spiritual side, we have to have balance with the right side of the brain connected to the left side of the brain. That's called a balanced brain, a hemisync brain. Right? So this is what we're seeking in enlightenment. So imagine now, most of us are seeking to go to jobs. Most of us are seeking to travel. Imagine if we were seeking enlightenment, like how we seek those things. Fun, entertainment, seek that and everything will become fun, right? A catalyst is a substance that speeds up a chemical reaction or lowers the temperature or pressure needed to start a chemical reaction. Let me tell you the chemical reaction that I want to state as a catalyst today. I want to catalyze your evolution in this moment. I want you to leave here. I want you to be here. And when you leave here, I want you to leave better when you leave than before you came. I want you to be inspired. I want you to try something new. When was the last time you did something for the first time? I want you to go beyond the limits that you set for yourself because you've made them with a limited mind and a limited construct of artificiality that pales in comparison to the 100 million years of memory you got stored in the back of your brain. Catalyst is the process of adding a catalyst to facilitate a reaction. And it can be a positive reaction or it can be a negative reaction. Both are needed. You see? And look at what it says. It lowers the pressure, lowers the temperature or pressure needed to start a chemical reaction without itself being consumed during the reaction. Those are your feelings consuming you for your anger. You won't be punished for your anger. You'll be punished by your anger because it will lower your frequency to say, I want you to bring everything that's going to make me more angry into my reality, and they become your circumstances. And the frequency of your anger becomes the currency of your circumstances. And so after you multiply your anger by 10 different incidences of anger, you start to develop fatigue and you start to feel depleted. And instead of your anger destroying something else, which it may, you will become destroyed. You will become consumed during this reaction because it facilitated a negative reaction. It's a mirror of what you think and who you are in this experience. Catalytic enlightenment will raise your frequency. And when you raise your frequency, you raise the power of your currency, right? Time, the evolution of consciousness, is the new frequency. It's the beyond cryptocurrency. It's beyond all of the currencies that's going to have the gold standard. It's beyond what the BRICS nations are doing. We are on a cosmic economy, and it's lasted longer than all these economies on the planet. So we want to be on the one that is ever present and infinite and provides immortal economics. So how can catalytic enlightenment be used in your life? I want you to think about those questions while I make a couple of announcements. So tomorrow night, we have none other than Moon Goddess Ambrosia. If you haven't gotten on her new kin orientation, the new kin, your galactic kin, is to show you the galactic consciousness that you have available to you that's in your memory that you're not using so that you can supersede and be God over your circumstances here on earth. It is amazing. We introduce you to your galactic signature. We call that your declaration of incarnation. We show you how to discover your purpose. Matter of fact, you got people on the earth, they say, I'm trying to find my purpose all their whole life and not even realize you couldn't even get on the earth without a purpose. You couldn't get here without a purpose. So now we're eluding ourselves. the kin of the plasma and oracle readings, how to become your own oracle, other evolutionary tools that you could practice and advance yourself. And you don't need an institution to do it. All happening tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't want to miss it. There's some linkage in some of the chats that we have. Go ahead and save that and attend that with us and start accessing your galactic consciousness by learning about your galactic purpose immediately without hesitation. All right, so that's going to be tomorrow night. And those of you that are in the Atlanta area, we only have about 15 slots. Okay, but 15 to 20 slots. So we still have a few slots left. We're going to have a meetup and we're going to have a cash flow night this Friday. And it's going to be at the Atlantic House Business Center, and it's going to be in Midtown Atlanta. So you're welcome to come. Your donation is your registration. All we ask you register and leave a donation, so we can go ahead and get some foods and make it comfortable for everybody. But if you like, the cash flow game is the introduction to what we call synchronomics. How to use the power of synchronicity to help us solve issues of our culture so that our finances can all be intact. Okay, so that's Friday night, 7 p.m., September 27th. So, all right, let us know you're coming, and we're going to be closing that out really soon. We can only take so many people with that. And so if you're in the Atlanta area and you want to meet and see, is this stuff real, please come through. What they say, pull up. Right? And then this Sunday, we're going to be talking about visualizing your target, organize, and focus. How you do that to advance yourself, how to disrupt systemic programming, how to access higher states of consciousness in that session, and the keys to prospering in the new time. We all could use some of that. All right, so that's going to be our session this Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We also offer one-on-one synchronicity coaching. We have exceeded over 1,000 one-on-one coaching sessions in under 4.5 years. So it's a very powerful celebratory time for us. So definitely, if you're interested or need coaching, reach out to us and we'll have you do an assessment and we'll let you know if you qualify for the coaching sessions. We can only take so many people at one time with that as well. All right. So if you have any testimonials, please put them in the chat. If you have any questions, please put them into the chat, because we want you to leave here better than before you came here, right? And we want you to make a decision. So when you get catalytic enlightenment, don't waste it. Don't waste it by doing nothingness, right? Find something that you can do to advance in your life now that you're inspired. Don't get yourself all excited to do nothing. All right, Lisa has a question. It says, what is an effective method of warding off bouts of all-consuming anger and frustration? You just decide, I'm not going to do it. Because listen, anybody who's angry or frustrated, right? Anger, which is a forced emotion. So there's power. Power strengthens us and force weakens us, right? So anytime that we want to be angry, we choose to be angry, right? Self-acceptance says we are the source and the creator of our experience. I am the actor and the director and the presenter of my life, right? So anytime someone has anger issues, they want to control something. They need to control something. So you want to ask yourself, what do I want to control? Okay. Anytime I get angry, I say, Neb Teharka, what do you want to control? Right? Because we only think we can survive by controlling things so people can't hurt us and things of that nature. So what happens is we become more aggressive because we want to seek control for various reasons. Okay? So we have to release our ability or need to control. Once we don't need to control it anymore, we don't get upset no more because it's a non-factor. I don't need to control you because I know who I am and I know what's going to happen to you if you try to do anything to me. You're doing to yourself 100 million times. And try undoing that karma. All right. Another Another question, Linda Bell, how can those who are not in Atlanta cash in on cash flow? Oh, the game cash flow. Well, we don't do it. We're not going to stream it. But Linda, what city are you in? We might bring the game to you. I've been thinking about doing a tour, and we play the cash flow game. We kind of fellowship, talk about these concepts. It's a lot of fun. So a lot of people have a great time when we get together with the cash flow game. It's life changing. It really is. So definitely, Linda, the only answer I have for you is we won't be streaming it, but we'll keep you informed because the meetup, the Synchronistic Human Meetup, is going to come to a town near you. Okay, so we got to put Philly on the map, right? We got to put Philly on the map. So we got to put Philly on the map for the tour. Ashe. All right, so this has been a pleasure, and use this time. So how many of you really feel empowered? Okay, how do you feel empowered? Or do you feel empowered with this session? If you do, how can you use that to advance you in a critical success area? I call them CSFs, critical success factors. All right. Critical success factors are things that you need that are critical to your success and needs to be a focus. BBB, thank you for your question. It asks, how do you visualize the personal and the collective reality? How are we each in our own room? Are we each universes? Been thinking about this. That's a great question. Great question, BBB. We are a multidimensional being. So when we talk about the remembrance on the fifth dimensional level, we are what? Collective. We are connected. Let me tell you, when we look at the law of holonomy, right, which says that we are systems inside of larger systems. I'll give you an example. Our blood cells are part of the what? Circulatory system. Circulatory system. The circulatory system is what? Part of the body. When the circulatory system or the cells, or let's say the cells in the body says, I'm not part of this circulatory system and I'm not part of this body. That means they have no reference to the whole body. It becomes misaligned. And now we got a problem because it's malignant. It's cancerous. But the truth is, just like the cells are part of the circulatory system and the circulatory system is part of the body on an energetic level, the body is part of what? The biosphere of the earth. The biosphere is part of the earth, I should say. The earth is part of the what? The solar system. The solar system is part of the what? The galaxy, the universe, the multiverse, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Energetically, these are just different versions of ourselves. Okay? So how do you visualize the personal and collective reality? Well, I start with the whole mind because I need to know my self-image. Okay, this is a trick because they say what? People without vision will perish. But they don't tell us why. I'm gonna tell you why people with vision and people without vision. There's people with vision that can perish without materializing that vision on the planet. Let me show you why so many visionaries do not materialize their vision. We don't talk about it. It's because they have a self-image. This is where the personal vision and reality comes in, that their self-image does not see that they can accomplish the vision. They hadn't figured out who the self is, BBB. They think the self is the physical abilities and the energy and motion of the body. The self is the unlimited power. This is the perspective that I encourage people to take on so that they're now just with the thought process that the self in the body is unlimited, then there's no vision that you cannot accomplish. So how do I visualize? Well, you got to visualize with the self-image of the whole so that you can accomplish any vision that comes through your mind on this material plane. So it don't even matter what room we are or what universe. The cosmic memory is our playground. And cosmic memory will be in the cerebellum. And everything we talk about, we can point to some place in the body where it operates. That's what makes it real and not a pseudoscience. So BBB, I hope I answered your question. And Please continue to send questions and comments so that we can not only fulfill your answers. I'm sure that some people had that same question that you just asked. Okay. All right. Excited to be one of our favorite waste spells. We're in the waste spell is an evolutionary cycle. So we're in the evolutionary cycle of the storm right now. Major changes and major transformation. Are you ready? Are you ready? We want something greater and want things greater than we are now. But are you ready and are you prepared? Can you handle the responsibility of greater? Is your character ready? And if it's not, this is the time to practice and discipline yourself so that when you do go to the next level, you don't backslide back to where you were because you didn't have the emotional intelligence to sustain it. Did y'all feel that? All right. So with that being said, the time is now. There's three types of people that listen to this, right? If you're new and you listen to this, it's time to make the change. And the only time is now. That's the only time it is. Not next week, not next month, not next year, not next whatever. The time is now, and the universe is working on your behalf to effectuate change so you can be more, know more, do more, and have more. Ashe? So let's get started now. Now, I encourage you all, some of you that want to be on the fast track, the first time person says, man, I'm ready to evolve. Okay, that person, I want you to email me right now or tonight. I'm really busy. I don't have a lot of time for people who are indecisive and don't know if they want to evolve. If you know you're ready to evolve, let's have a conversation of what that looks like over in Synchronistic Humans so that you can make an informed decision about how to move forward in your own evolution. And if it's not this way, then maybe I can suggest another way that would be more suitable for you. Number two type person has questions. I got some questions, Neb Teharka. You said some stuff I don't really know a lot about. I don't understand. Great. The next step is not for you to get a reading. The next step, the power of the self in you says, let's get these questions answered to see if the self can thrive in what he's talking about. And now you'll be in a position to make an informed decision. Number three type person says, man, listen, you said a lot of stuff, but it's just a little over my head and something I'm not that interested in, but I appreciate the information. Great. Who do you know that this will resonate with? And your blessing will come another way, right? So email me. Let's tap into the greatest aspect of yourself and let's advance ourselves together. In Lakesh, I am another you. Allah King, you are another me. Hotep, Hetipu, and Namaste. And remember, and don't you ever forget, evolution is the solution. Peace. We'll see you next Wednesday and a new kin orientation tomorrow.
It's just different.
I am the world changer, coded by the blue storm. My number is 19, the power of all number. I am the master alchemist, the force behind the philosopher's stone. Skilled at the art of transmutation. I am the catalytic transformer of world consciousness and planetary living. I oversee the changes of the weather. I am the thunder that shatters your world systems. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies. It was I who caused the triple Aztec monuments of the Avatar archetype to appear in the ancient temple ground. I oversee the morning and the evening stars. I behold the creator of the fifth sun, the present world. Sent forth am I to dwell among you, calling forth the sixth sun. For the great regeneration of the world's soul, to know me is to know your own power of self-generation. To know me is to know your own power of self-generation. Self-generation is power. I am the transport of clouds filled with lightning to illuminate the truth behind your illusions. I am the bringer of the drenching rains that purifies.